Northern California was once home to a vast inland sea that made up one of the largest wetland complexes in the country. In the mid-1800s, settlers from all over the world came to the Golden State in hopes of striking it rich. To support a growing population, the so-called swamp was drained. And now we are left with just 5% of the historical floodplain. Today, rice fields, duck clubs, bypasses, wildlife refuges, and riparian lands provide the habitats needed by birds, fish, and reptiles. But weather whiplash and aging infrastructure are threatening our ability to create a sustainable future for people and wildlife.
Expanding floodplains is a really smart, cost-effective flood protection strategy. Protects communities that are under flood risk, but then it also allows us to restore our salmon populations and create environmental habitat as birds and animals, fish are more and more stressed from climate change.
So how do we mimic the natural wetland and river system that once spread across the valley floor? Through 4 key actions. First, we need to look at how we activate our bypasses so that they flood more often. Let's take a look at the Tisdale Weir as a possible location. Currently, we can only provide benefits to fish and wildlife in normal or wet years. When water flows over the weir to relieve pressure on the levees downstream, what if we could activate these same lands in drier years? By creating habitat gates or managed notches, we allow the water to spread out even during lower flows. For example, a new habitat gate at Tisdale could potentially activate the bypass 50 more days a year, thus supporting more wildlife that need access to wetlands later in the spring. Outside of the bypasses, we can use rice lands during the winter months. And in just a few decades, we've come a long way. In the 1980s, roughly 1% of rice fields were converted to wintering wetland habitat. Since widespread burning of post-harvest rice straw was taken out of practice, we now see roughly 270,000 acres flooded each year. But the hope is to one day see every field go wet when birds and fish need it the most. So how does it work? After harvest, we flood the fields to decompose the rice straw. The practice also produces billions of bugs that fish like to eat. But they can't access the fields on their own. So when we can't get the fish on the floodplain, we can deliver the food to the fish by sending the nutrient-rich water to the river. Bigger, stronger fish means a healthier population traveling out to the ocean. Third action, wildlife refuges. These havens remain important wetland habitat for many species. With improved water reliability, we can make sure water managers can continue to deliver water to these sites and ensure wildlife can continue to thrive in these protected lands. Our fourth and final action, riparian zones. By allowing seasonal flooding of riparian lands, we can mimic the functions of the historic floodplain. Reconnecting and restoring these in-river and river-adjacent habitats often requires land grading and changes to infrastructure to make the most of limited river flows. The variety in size and locations of these riverside lands, which includes marshlands, oxbows, sloughs, and side channels, makes for highly desirable rest stops for migrating salmon and wildlife. By connecting working lands, wildlife refuges, riparian habitat, and the river, we can create a more sustainable future for all. But it can't be done alone. It will take the entire valley working together to see a vibrant and healthy watershed.